after what we thought was going to be a galvanizing moment for the Chicago Bears, we just hit the basement. We just hit rock bottom. Chicago Bears lose 9-29 versus the Arizona Cardinals. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it all down for the post game right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the post-game show for Chicago Bears Central as C-Dub gets the smoking hot plate from my favorite auntie in the world. But hey, we right here joining y'all and tuning in to a loss by the Chicago Bears. Not one that you can accept, but a one that you absolutely cannot accept from a Chicago Bears team that had a lot of things to say this past week. 29-9. No touchdowns for the offense, one turnover for the defense. Big Kev, what's your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is I'm not surprised. The coaching staff has come out and shown that they haven't been prepared for games all season. And today was no different. They came out and the team wasn't prepared either, bro. Like they just weren't. So I'm not surprised that the Bears lost this game. People kind of underestimated the Arizona Cardinals as if they were a cakewalk. And that's just not the truth. The Chicago Bears need their players to go out there and perform. And that's just not what happened today. Whether it's the offense or the defense. The defense gave up a touchdown at the end of the first half, similar to what they gave up at the end of the game versus the Washington Commanders. You can't have 30 seconds, 38 seconds on the clock, and
25 seconds.
you give up a rushing touchdown at the end of the half,
25 seconds.
a rushing touchdown, not a Hail Mary, but a rushing touchdown. So again, I'm not surprised. This coaching staff hasn't given me anything to believe in all season long, even in their wins. It just it hasn't felt like the coaching staff has turned the corner for me.
C-Dub, how you feeling about this loss, bro?
Man, this is the first time that the Chicago Bears have really had me like this, really pissed the fuck off. And the reason why, they had games where they didn't have a lot of energy on the field. They had games when they wasn't very smart. But when all three bad things happen that makes up a bad team, and that third thing is heart, oh man, it's really downhill. And the hope is there is no hope. If your team is not playing with competence and heart and energy, you've lost your team. This team had no will to continue playing this game. They'd had no brains to compete in this game, and they had no heart to try to do anything in this game. It's just a pitiful performance that I have not seen in a long time. Yeah, we didn't go over 500 last year. Yeah, we only won three games the year prior, but it was some heart there. They competed in mostly all of those games. So this is the first time that I've seen all three come together in a single game, and it's just pitiful. It's pitiful to see as we sit in 4-4 on the season, bro.
For sure. I think my initial reaction is that what a hell of a loss. Me personally, like I said, when I started this whole thing, I can take a loss. I can't take a loss like this to where it looks like the defense didn't want to try. The offense wasn't really in sync. And I don't want to hear the excuses that we had new guys on offensive line. Everybody was in the lineup on the offensive line outside of Larry Borum. Other than that, you still have Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, you had Matt Pryor, you had Darnell Wright. Me personally, this loss shows that, and y'all let me know if I'm going too far. Matt Eberflus lost his team.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I could be wrong. They next week they can come out and very well do absolutely what they have to do versus the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots and still go on and take care of business for the rest of the season. They could very well do that. But as of right now, it looks like this team was not in tune. You talking about the offense, 3 of 14 on third down. That's not going to win you games. You talking about penalties coming from the team, 6 fucking penalties on the squad versus 2 from the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, it looks bad. For the last few weeks, Kev and Steve-O been pointing to the coaching. Me and C Dub been really pointing towards players. This week, I agree. And I pretty much sure believe that everybody would agree. This issue sits at the floor of Ryan Poles, whether that's coaching or the players. If we keeping it a buck, that all ties into what Ryan Poles has built. He got the genius credit for all the moves that he's made coming into this season. Well, my guy, the genius is out the door. You look like a fucking jackass right now. That's just
Hmm.
like your team doesn't look prepared. Your offensive coordinator doesn't look like he's willing to call a good game. Your defense, this particular game, looked like they couldn't stop a nosebleed. They pretty much beat you with the run. The Arizona Cardinals guys, the Arizona Cardinals guys, from the
Hmm.
rushing standpoint, accumulated 213 yards and 3 touchdowns simply from rushing. Kyler Murray didn't throw a touchdown. This game was decided by bonehead, dumbass mistakes based on these players and this coaching staff. Total letdown all around from the Chicago Bears. And Big Kev, you called for the firing. You had some
Yeah.
time to think about it. If you was to fire Matt Eberflus today, who's the interim head coach? I need a name.
I mean, like, I can't give you a name. I can't think of nobody that's on this coaching staff that can step up and lead this team to wins, Bobby. Like the reason why I'm calling for the firing of Eberflus during the season is simply because he hasn't shown anything. I was calling for his firing after last season to be
For
100,
sure.
and
For
that
sure.
just goes back to your point about Ryan Poles. He decided to bring back Eberflus. He decided to to put all the blame on Justin Fields. That's what happened after last season. It was Justin Fields' fault. If we had a different quarterback, this team would be better.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's just not the case. So, as far as the coaching staff is concerned right now, ain't nobody in this coaching staff that can lead this team to wins. At least
C
I don't
Dub.
see it.
C Dub. Are you firing Matt Eberflus after this game? And if you are, who's your replacement?
I'm not firing Matt Eberflus. What'll be the damn point? But if we are, Eric Washington would be my choice. We need a difference in personality at head coach. We need a more fiery, more
Mm,
disciplinarian type coach. I think Matt Eberflus is trying to be all buddy buddy and give out nicknames and shit in practice and shit. That shit, you get too friendly with your. You could be cool with your players, but it gotta be a role defined. Like I'm in the element of I'm a disciplinarian. I don't want to say disciplinarian, but I'm the real leader of this team. It's not like we're not equals type shit. I'm the
Meanwhile, we
boss.
go ahead.
I'm the boss, and I'm running this ship. And just the fact that we got leadership councils coming up to you, remand, reprimanding you and shit like you don't know what you're doing. There's a problem, bro. Like it sounds like he lost the locker room. But if I was to go, we need a more disciplinarian type coach, and I'm looking at Eric Washington. He never smiled. I never seen him smile before.
Yeah, I think that there's a fine line between being a player's coach and being a coach that holds guys accountable. You can absolutely go out there and be a player's coach and listen to your guys and say, hey, you didn't like what we did this week. Okay, cool. We can go ahead and do that. But I also think there's a standpoint to where Matt Eberflus, you have to hold a standard. Me personally, I don't. These players play like they didn't agree with the decision to bench Tyreek Stevenson for 2 series. I don't think I honestly believe that. I don't believe they agree. They didn't play like they agree with the decisions that was made by
I
this coaching
agree.
staff.
Well, it was
I
out
They
agree.
there
didn't
that
play that.
it was out there that the locker room didn't agree with the Stevenson benching, which I disagree
That
with
was
the
out
locker
there.
room. Yeah, there was some rumors
Oh,
that
I
the
didn't
locker
see that.
room, yeah, that the locker room was like, oh, because Stevenson apparently took himself out of practice when he was told that he wasn't going to be starting. I'm not
Right,
sure about the
but
Eric.
but to add context, Courtney Cronin added on to that he did leave, but he did return. So
Okay, but there was also the caveat added that the locker room didn't appreciate it. But regardless, even with Eric Washington, I didn't see anybody on this coaching staff stepping up and taking this team to task after last week. I'm not sure if I'm going to see anybody on this coaching staff stepping up and taking this team to task after this week. Hopefully, when people ask, when the media asks questions, hopefully Eric Washington, hopefully Eberflus, hopefully Shane Waldron, hopefully Ryan Poles decide to be real and honest about the temperature of this team, because nobody's doing it. Nobody's done it since week one. You had a team meeting after week one, and there were some changes a little bit, in approach. But the reality is, there's no accountability from top to bottom. I don't like it. I don't like it. And C Dub, that's the reason why I said I don't see anybody on this coaching staff that could be the head coach, because nobody's throwing clipboards. Nobody's saying anything about the ineptitude of this team and the approach that they have to the game. Nobody.
Kev, real quick, does that speak to the coach, the head coach?
Yeah, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, the special teams coordinator, the general manager. I feel like from top to bottom, there needs to be somebody that says heads will roll. Somebody.
Mm. C Dub, you had something to add. What you got, B Dub?
I just don't know what happened. What was their program on the bye week? Did they have the whole week off, or I, I just need to know that. It might not really mean nothing, but they are completely a different team from that game. Who did they play last before the bye week?
They played Jaguars before the bye week.
The Jaguars. They are. I understand the Jaguars are a bad team, and the teams that they beat are bad teams, but they look completely different from what we seen before the bye week. This team is. Ooh, I don't know what to say. This
Steve,
really got me down, bro.
for sure. Steve-O joining us. Steve-O, what's your initial reaction to this game? And then I have a follow-up question.
I mean, I did that all my holler and I done went for a walk and I calmed down. But I mean, my reaction is just I'm not shocked. The team flat out quit on their coach. Did I see it
Now that's
coming?
why I was going with this.
Yeah, they flat out quit on their coach, and you can see it. And I told y'all it was coming. It's obvious. Like this is a repetitive cycle. I keep saying this. To really address the offensive situation. Like you got the wrong guy, Shane Waldron. You
Which is
in the
very
draft
disappointing.
in the draft situation when it was time to make that decision, you decided to go for want instead of need.
Mm.
That bitch in the ass again. Your O line, you didn't address your O line enough. We knew that coming in, but we held out hope and see if this guy was so great. Even though I don't care how great you are, you're not going to be able to get the ball off or play with a rhythm because you don't have a rhythm mind or OC. So and that it is. And then on the defensive side, like I said, we've seen every phase of this defense from first string, second, three string play their hearts out on every given Sunday. Once you hear like I said last week, some of the things that you heard your head coach say, oh, that 13 yards right there didn't matter. Oh, we didn't need to call timeout right there. As a head coach, 3 years in, that should never, ever in your life come out your mouth. And that's when most of them players on this defense said, it is what it is with this dude. He ain't got it. He ain't it. This is not going to be our guy. It is what it is when it comes to the board. That's my initial reaction of this team. I'm not
For sure.
surprised.
The follow-up question is, which I believe you're going to say yes to, would you fire Eberflus today? I believe you're going to say yes, right?
Yeah.
And then
And
my
I think that's the
follow-up,
biggest thing is by the defense, because your defense gave up the most. We've seen this team bend and break. They got dashed. Tremaine Evans was a foot slower than I've ever seen him. Out of
Everybody.
position. Me and Bobby still trying to figure out what the hell he was looking at on that last run and touchdown they did
for the second half. Yes.
for the second half.
So Steve-O, my follow-up is, you're firing Matt Eberflus. Who steps in as interim head coach?
Eric Washington.
I think that's been the favorable consensus in the chat. I think Big Kev said that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kev.
No, that was C Dub that said it. I said I don't see anybody
Okay.
on the coaching staff that should be the interim head coach, but I guess it makes sense
But
to go
they
with the
gotta be.
defensive court. It
You
got to
gotta
be
appoint
somebody.
somebody.
It got to be
They need a
somebody.
difference in personality. Like I think he lost him because he tried to get too cozy.
He
You
pussy.
don't allow people to have this fucking council of leaders and steady coming over there sort of kind of reprimanding you. You the boss. Tell them to take their ass back to their locker room and take their ass back to the practice field. They don't get to tell you what your job is.
He
You know what you
pussy.
have to do. You know what I'm
The
saying? So we need a guy like a stand-up guy. And Eric Washington seems to be that guy. As I look
I
into him,
don't
he
even
doesn't
know.
smile. He seems to be that guy. That's what I'm gonna say. He seems to.
C-Dub, the only thing I'm gonna say is that when for me, the way that I look at it is that guys like you can have your head coach establish a quote unquote leadership council. But to your point, you supposed to overrule anything you don't agree with.
Everything.
You could say, okay, cool. I'm gonna take your advice and say we should do this. But I'm gonna look at this and say, where's the player accountability? You know what I'm saying? I believe Bill Belichick, and I know that Matt Eberflus ain't even sniffing the jock strap of Bill Belichick. Let's keep it a buck when it comes to coaching. But I think that
Gotcha.
when you talk about Bill Belichick, I'm pretty sure he had his leaders within his locker room, but guys still knew that his standard
Yeah.
still applied across the board.
Yeah,
And
because
I
That's the
think
key
that's
word,
what's missing.
standard.
I
and
think
it's a
that's what's missing.
just like in your household and you have kids, you're a dictator in that house. If not, I feel like I'm a dictator.
I will hope so.
I feel like I'm a dictator
For
until you
sure.
get older,
I'm Michael
and then
Jackson. Y'all Tito.
until you get older, and I'm still a dictator, but I will listen to you more because you still
Mhm.
live in my house and you grown. I feel like he made a mistake by being too friendly with the players.
Oh
I
yeah,
just, I just think so,
I think that's a fair
and
point.
I
with
think
that
he has.
Macklemore hairstyle that he had, bro.
For sure.
I mean,
Hayes joining us in the chat.
oh, go ahead. Hayes
But
in that
no, go
bit.
ahead, finish your take, and then I'll
No,
get
I
to
mean,
Hayes.
I feel like people like Sean McVay and people, they're good. They have good, but there's a line.
Got to be a
Yeah,
line.
There's no line. I'm stepping right over that bitch if there is one. I ain't scared of that nigga.
Yep.
for
It ain't
sure.
about fear neither. It's just about
It's
there's a
respect.
It's
They
respect.
don't
It's
respect
respect
respect.
him.
It's respect.
I
for
don't
sure.
respect Flus. I don't respect. There is no game that he's put forward as a head coach I respect yet.
Mm, for
I
sure.
mean, you ain't got many choices. He only got what
Right. I got what 12, 15,
12
10,
wins.
10 shit.
All right,
Out
we're
of
gonna jump
12
into
wins.
Hayes. Hayes, you just joining us. Welcome in, my boy. Matt Eberflus now falls to 3-18 on the road, and none of those 3 wins came on a Sunday, my guy. First, I got the question of what is your initial reaction, and then I have a follow-up question once you're done.
To the 3-18 record.
To
He
just the
sucks.
loss of this Bears.
I mean, the loss today sucks. This is another loss where you look at and you just got to say, what have you been doing? What have you been trying to instill as a head coach? Because this team wasn't ready. And I get it. We had major injuries and we missed some key pieces on the defensive side of the ball. Make no mistake about it. We gave up 213 yards on the ground. 213. Bruh. They averaged 6 yards per carry. They had almost more yards on the ground than we had total offense. That's unacceptable.
It's crazy.
It's unacceptable. We had 230 some total yards from offense. They had 213 just on the ground. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Excuse me. And now my follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Now my follow-up question is: do you believe now is the time to let Matt Eberflus go? If you do, who's the replacement?
Bro, at this point, anybody cannot know that you can't kick on sides after a safety. So I don't give a fuck who the replacement is. But this motherfucker got to go. I at this point they can put a computer out there as the head coach is just going to draw plays out of a playbook and do random, and it'll be about the fucking same that we see right now.
Say it again, Hayes.
Man, if Robert Saleh could get fired, I'm not trying to hear that shit. I'm just not. But Robert ain't doing half the shit they pose. I mean, that's
Eberflus, for sure.
You set a precedent with Tyreek Stevenson. You say he lost the game. You penalized him with not starting him for the first 2 series. Now you should penalize Matt Eberflus for the same type of egregious action. His team was unprepared to play. They play with no heart, and they play with no brains. That's all on the coach. Do we
suspend the coach? Do we have the coach sit out the first quarter?
No, fire the nigga. This is what's the word you just used? See those egregious things over. We've said the word egregious about over a multitude of games over 3 years.
He's had real talk. And this real talk. This is what I'll say. Matt Eberflus has had 5 games that they've all been fireable offenses, just those 5 games.
Absolutely.
You got recollection to reel them off real quick?
All the fourth quarter games where we had a 90% chance to win and we ended up losing.
Denver,
all that.
Detroit.
Denver, I'll get you right now. Denver, Detroit,
Cleveland,
Cleveland, Washington, this game.
And Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yes.
Hold on, y'all forgetting Tampa Bay too.
Oh, it's more.
Tampa Bay too.
You're absolutely
6.
Right.
Yep. It's rough.
6. So let's not offset the Minnesota game.
I just want to say real quick before y'all go for it, Steve-O couldn't say egregious, but he said multitude. Shout out to Steve-O for that.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with me with Matt Eberflus right now is that this team looked like they quit on him. I mean, y'all check me and tell me if I'm moving too fast, but I see a group of guys on the defensive side who was Matt Eberflus's strong side. They pretty much was just like, to hell with the run game, to hell with the pass game, to hell with his game plan. And it was the same thing for the offensive side. Muzz was like, Shane, what you calling, bro? And I feel like there was multiple drives to where Shane literally could have just leaned into that run game and put points on the board other than the 3 field goals that you put on the board. And like, I'm going to speak for myself. Y'all chime in if y'all want to. I was excited for Shane Waldron to come to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
He has been very, very disappointing.
Yes.
I don't know if that's him per se. I don't know if that's the head coach, but I do know the head coach is in charge of the ship in the direction that the ship is going. You got to hold.
Well, here's the thing.
Something though, real quick. I forget who the wide receiver his name. He used to play for Atlanta Falcons. No, he old. He older. Okay. He had a long ass last name, and he played for Atlanta. He said something that I didn't think of while we was even looking at offensive coordinators. Then he said, "Why would I move my family on a dude that's most likely going to be fired in a year?"
Mm.
That's true, and that has a lot to say about Eberflus. But Steve-O, you said the captain of the ship. Captain of the ship is Ryan Poles.
I
Captain
ain't
of the
saying
ship
nothing
is
about no
Are you talking
captain.
about
I don't
me?
know
not you, Bobby,
Talking to
Bobby,
me.
Bobby.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
what?
You called
I
me
get Steve
Steve
on.
one more
Yeah, yeah.
motherfucking time, big dog.
I called you. I called
This
you
your
Steve O
third
again.
time today,
Hey,
big dog.
Nah,
I talked to Steve O the most.
Kev. All black people
This
don't look
nigga
alike.
got hair. My
No,
lining is receding. What
I
are we talking
talked to
about?
Steve O the most. Me and Steve O spend the most time together. That's all it
I
is.
know.
We know
That don't
that's
mean
part of the problem.
I spend a lot
but
of time with C Dub.
all
I
right,
don't call
now
Hayes
I'm
Dub.
uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable in this situation.
but
Why the fuck
no,
is y'all
no,
talking like
Bobby,
this, man?
Bobby, you said what you said about the captain of the ship. The reality is it's Ryan
It's
Poles, and
pose.
we said it
It
earlier, and
is.
it and I think we all really fell victim to Hard Knocks. I mentioned it at the end of the live
Sure did.
call. We watched Hard Knocks and we watched this Bears team, and
That's his name.
it was all fluff. It was all fluff. It was like, oh, this Bears team can be good, but they didn't show nothing about the offensive
I tell
line in
you one
Hard
thing that
Knocks.
came out
Can
of
I?
Hard Knocks that made me a believer, Big Kev. And this is why. During Hard Knocks, the Bears beat up on the Bengals in a fucking scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
We was like, that's a team we want to root for.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect this. So you right. But I would say that, man, most people became believers when they was hearing that in the rain. On the day that guys wanted to move to practice inside, the Bears and the Bengals moved to practice outside, the Bears was beating them up.
But
And then
Bobby,
we
did they
came
show us
out in that
Can
preseason
I?
game and won the game. So we was
real
like, hey.
Can I ask a
real quick,
But
question?
Doug?
I
Real
agree
quick,
with you,
Doug.
though.
Bobby, did they show us anything on the offensive line doing Hard Knocks?
Hell no. They showed us the back
They
of
showed us
Eagle
Buddy
folks.
drop his pants.
Eagle
That's
folks.
it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I just the only question that I wanted to ask is this the only thing we blaming on Ryan Poles is the offensive line and no attention he's done.
no,
Not firing
no,
Eberflus.
That's the only
no,
thing I'm willing to
Not
no. It's
blame
three
firing
Ryan
things.
Poles for.
Deeper
Eberflus.
than that.
I
That's
got
Not
three for
firing
you.
Eberflus.
I
that's the
got three
only
for
thing
you. I
I'm
got three
blaming
for
Ryan
you.
Poles for.
I got three. Fuck
You say
that.
you
It's the
are?
O line.
Only the O line, no attention to the O line. That's it for Ryan Poles. That's
No,
all
Not
I'm
that's the
blaming
thing.
Hell
him
He
firing
for.
did
no.
give
Eberflus.
no. He gave you know me. He gave attention to the O line. The decisions that he just made were fucking wrong.
That's what I'm saying. It's bad.
He gave the
So,
attention of a toddler. I tell you that.
Not firing
I'm
Eberflus.
sorry. It's three things: not firing Eberflus, not addressing the online properly. Three, you gambled. You drafted want instead of need. I'm gonna keep saying that shit.
Okay.
That's three.
but okay, I would
I'm
think
sorry.
that would
I don't
add
give a
into
fuck.
the
Like,
offensive line
this is
situation. But okay,
and this is no diss to Caleb or Rome. They were not needs. They were wants.
I would say
We
the
needed a O
quarterback was
line.
more of a need. Well, it wasn't a need. It was more of a want. I'm gonna go with you on that. But I 100% agree with you on the Rome thing. It was a more of a need than a more of a want than a need with the Rome. Because I
They
feel
both
like at
was
that
wants.
point you kind of
Hold on.
positioned
It ain't
yourself to say
live.
what
Shut
you
your
need.
bitch ass up, Jesus. What the fuck you doing before you get crucified in this bitch
It
like your
ain't live.
namesake? Watch your fucking self. Tell me some this shit ain't live. How about we live sick our fucking balls on your mama forehead? We would do that live.
Hey,
I'm,
Hayes, his modern day namesake is cutting grass, but we're just gonna leave that alone.
I mean, listen,
Oh
the
my
fact that you don't
God.
sweat says a lot about you, my boy. Like, shut up and go make some motherfucking goddamn
Hey.
chile quiles, bitch. How about that?
well, that nigga was just
Hey,
down. He was just fighting the motherfuckers against the Venezuelans. Ain't nobody talking care about fuck you
I
talking
feel
about.
like the best question after this, since we shitted on the defense, we shitted on the offense, shitted on the coaching staff.
And the
C-Dub, you
GM.
called the game. Where do the Bears go from here? I believe is the best question to ask
well,
right
you're
now.
gonna have to get healthy. You know, they was missing a gang of players. I'm just gonna assume that Matt Eberflus is gonna still be here. You're just gonna have to find a way to get your team back competing on each and every down, get them to being smart on the field each and every down, and get to them playing with heart each and every down because you lost all three of those in this game. All three. And I haven't seen it in a long time with the Chicago Bears team.
Who want to go next? Where do we go from here?
Before I tell you where we go from
Fire
here,
all they asses. That's where we go next.
this Seattle versus Rams game is lit. I'm just gonna say that
I don't
first.
give a
Yeah, you don't
damn.
give me a damn
Everybody
answer.
team. I don't give a
They
fuck.
think I give a fuck about a charge?
Where we go from here, I feel as though the Chicago Bears need to move on from the head coach. I don't think this head coach has the locker room. I don't think that he's a good head coach at all. The loss last week was on the head coach. You got 3 timeouts. You ain't called one of them. You standing on the sideline telling the players to move forward on that third down, on that second down play, or whatever play it was that led to the 15, 13 yards, instead of calling a timeout. Your quarterback have to pull you off the field. I do not believe in this head coach. The Chicago Bears should not have brought him back. That's where we go from here. Fight the head coach and move forward.
Oh, they said Flus is talking.
I don't.
Press conference on.
You know what Flus's talk sound like? Wah, 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 wah.
You want me to
I
crash
mean,
out?
listen. If I wanted to hear a pussy flap their lips, I could just. Never mind. Let me.
I can definitely
It's
make a call.
upstairs, huh?
Hey, when Hayes got to stop.
It's
Like,
upstairs,
I mean,
huh?
Now all I gotta say,
we can listen to this pussy talk real quick. Hold on.
But I just want to say though, if Rome was a one, we needed multiple O lines. That was a one.
On the backed up. So that right there, I thought that was a good call by the officials. The guy was engaged. And
Y'all heard okay?
Yeah. So I thought that was
It's still loaded in.
And again, overall, it's just not good.
Macklemore.
Not good enough by the players and coaches, by the staff. Everybody's involved. That's what I said to the guys in there. Starts with the coaches putting you in position to make plays, and we didn't do a good enough job of that today. And then we got.
Hey Waldo, you can suck my black ass dick. Don't tell me what I do on my show. How about that? That's what you can do.
Tomorrow.
Worry about that before I. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Let the pussy talk.
Y'all done made Hayes stop twice.
That man said, "Let me stop. Let the pussy talk."
4-4 right now, halfway point through.
Yeah, he been talking. He been flapping. All right.
Starting the new season right now, and to me, it's about
how would it sound?
You mentioned your accountability for the call at the end of the half. What is your accountability for the offense? What do you need to do to get this offense on track when it seems like Caleb's development is stalling and
fire him
scoring 9 points?
Yeah, full responsibility for that. So we'll work with the offensive staff tomorrow morning as we watch this tape tonight, and find answers. Find answers for running the ball first. Making sure you do that and setting everything off of that.
You can find answers at week.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Can I get the stage real quick? Is it okay with y'all if I get the stage for a second? Because hold the fuck up for a second. Somebody just asked you if you're stalling the goddamn development of your rookie quarterback. And said, yeah. We'll talk to all. That's it. That's what you got. Get this motherfucker up out of here, bro. Get this motherfucker up out of here, man.
Reported. I saw he tweaked his ankle, so that was what I saw.
Why was he still in the game at the end?
Yeah, we're just getting work and getting timing, and getting timing on the 2-minute operation, and that's what we were doing.
All I hear is fired. I'm gonna be fired. I'm not gonna be the coach of this team.
He's fucking off. What's your response to the performance today? His posture.
Yeah, much of what I just said. We got to circle the wagons, and we got to do a really
He's
good job of staying
unhinged.
tight. That's
Bitch, what the fuck do circle the wagon mean?
We got everybody
He has
we need.
no idea.
The wagon members in there, and you got a limit as wagon.
He has no idea what the future holds right now. He is terrified right
starts
now.
with the coaches first, and then starts with that practice on Wednesday. We got a lot of things to answer here before Wednesday, before we get on the practice field, and it's important that we do that.
Look at him. Eye contact is awful. He's done.
I am.
Yeah, I know every one of those guys really well, and we've built those relationships over time. And my buy-in's all in, and I know theirs is too.
We cooked, y'all.
And we got a lot of football to play. We got 9 games in the regular season.
I don't think you got a lot of football to play.
We're starting out. It's 4-4, and we got those games to play, and it starts with next week.
Degree of difficulty gets much higher though in terms of opponents, definitively pretty soon. What tells you that based on being 4-4, at this point you guys are ready for that?
Just the confidence in the players, in the talent we have, in the buy-in from those guys and how hard they work.
They didn't buy into you.
Sometimes you don't get the results you want all the time. So you have to look in and say, hey, what can you do?
You ain't got results for 3 years.
And sometimes it's just that small.
He is a
If
not
you figure
result.
that out, then you turn the corner, and then you work to the next one. And you get your first victory, then work to the next one.
The decision to sit Tyreek at the start of the game. Did you have issue on Wednesday during the walkthrough when he went in and took some time?
Yeah, it's like I've said before, we've made decisions, for Tyreek
Ask him that dumbass.
during
Who
that time.
give a fuck?
And you guys saw that, he didn't start and all those things, and and that's where it is. Tyreek, like I said on Friday, had a really good week of practice. He played well today, had a good pass breakup, had some nice tackles.
Turn this nigga off.
So he put his best foot forward. And his teammates and his coaches and all of us in that circle got his back. And, that's where it is.
What prevented Montez from playing today?
Yeah, we worked him out before the game.
Bitch, a shin injury.
So when he was turning the corner to make the rush, turn the corner there. So we'll see where that is this week.
His damn questions,
Took a
yo.
beat from a Washington player to his shin. Is that all it is, or is there more to it than just a last?
Who is that?
I don't know if it's more to that.
Who is that?
That's
Don't let him back in.
But again, there's pain when you turn the corner. When you're a defensive end, your ankle has to have
type of question
flexion
is
in it,
that?
and you got to make sure that you're able to have that mobility in your lower extremities to be able to play the way he plays.
On the long touchdown run, what is your sense of what could have been done better besides the call? Obviously, you're not expecting to give up 53 in a situation.
Yeah, I mean it's a pressure. It was 3rd and 5. They were at the 44. So you're trying to do a good job there and make them punt. Not get into field goal range with the time that they had because they still had 2 timeouts. So it was a shell pressure. So there's 2 safeties back there. So that's important that the shell of the defense gets the runner down. So you got 2 corners and 2 safeties that can keep the big cup on there. And we just have to do a good job there. But again, I could have called a better call for sure.
2 more. Did you get any perspective, or what was your perspective on that safety and the one at the end, towards the end?
He's trying to
Yeah,
be
it was a good
accountable
call.
a little
Yeah,
bit
he
too
was
late, though.
engaged. I think Tevin was
I
engaged.
feel like
with
the
block with
accountability
rusher,
should have came
and
last
I think
week.
Swift ended up cutting him at the same time. So
Last year.
Me personally,
from what I saw from the replay and what I got from upstairs, that it was a legit call.
Man, what can you guys do to put Caleb in better position? Because obviously a game like this it's tough for any quarterback, especially a rookie. How do you put him in a better position going forward?
Yeah, you had
Run
to
the
find
ball.
answers, right? We 3 weeks ago we were doing this, right, and it was looking good, right, and then now we got to find answers. And that's why I always say this.
Bitch, you weren't playing good fucking
We got to
teams.
find answers to put our players in position, to be successful, including Caleb.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
my goodness,
Bro.
I think it's time.
I'm done. I'm done with this. Anything y'all got left, I gotta go about my business, bro.
I was
I
just
got
gonna say, I think it's time.
I'm done with football for today.
okay.
I think that I think me personally, I just think it's time to right your wrongs, Ryan Poe's. I don't think Ryan Poe's job should be ending because of the job that he's done. He's not the coach of the players, but he is the manufacturer of the team. And thus far, you have a lot of talent, but you don't have a guy to lead the talent. So I think that Ryan Poe should be safe, but I think it's time to just right your wrongs. I don't think that he necessarily is going to end it all right now, but I really do hope that he does. I think that Matt Eberflus has ran his course. He has talked a lot. And me personally, I think it's just time to just not punt the season and go away from it. But I think that Matt Eberflus cannot lead this team. His comments this past week really reflected in his team this week. You had more accountability come from players than said your coaches. Your OC said he will call the same play again. Matt Eberflus pretty much said 13 yards does not matter when you're trying to win the game. I think enough is enough. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, but we live with it, I guess. Matt Eberflus is still stuck here for the remainder of the season.
Yep.
Especially in this press conference right here.
He looks shaky though.
Yep. Shaky.
Shaky.
That press conference sound like a man that just lost his house with no insurance, but said, "I still saved the photo album."
He sound like a man who ain't got no money and he owes some shark something. So that's what it sounds
At
like.
least
He
I
owes
still
a
have my
debtor.
life.
For sure. But y'all get y'all final comments off. CW, you got anything left?
Nope.
It is what it is. The Chicago Bears lose. We heard from Flus. We seen what the team is about. The strong part of the team pretty much folded during this game, and your offense never got it going. Caleb Williams was bad. Shane Waldron was bad. Your defense was bad. Complete team loss. Complete letdown from a team that was supposed to use this moment to either galvanize themselves or just fall. They elected to fall. So that is it. We'll see where we go from here. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in into the post game. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. It's on to this Sunday night game. I'm hoping the Vikings lose, but who gives a damn when the Bears suck? It is what it is.